everyone, here is how I made this sweet Valentine's Day number using the old-fashioned baby day gown pattern for Daisy's first Valentine's Day. As always, timestamps and materials are linked down below in the description box. So the pattern combines the gown's front pattern piece with the gown's back pattern piece, so I traced the front of that neckline, just that little curve area, to be able to cut that out without destroying my pattern piece. Also, this is designed to be cut on a double fold, however that uses a lot more fabric, so instead I only cut out the pattern pieces on the regular fold, like the long fold down the center front and the center back. One last thing, I took out 2 inches of the gown's front by moving the pattern piece over about 1 inch, since I'm not doing any pin tucks or gathers. You'll see that the pattern is designed to be gathered up about 2 inches if you read the instructions. And for now, I'm just tracing out the front of the gown since I'm going to be doing some hand embroidery work, and then I will cut out the pattern piece after that embroidery work is all done. And I do have another video that goes over how to do the embroidered hearts for this little number that will be linked down below. Alright, so the final 2 pieces that I cut out was the hem like that curved hem piece, one for the front and one for the back. And the gown's front will have the curves as they are shown as the pattern piece minus those 2 inches that I've taken out, of course. Now the pattern, like the hem for the back of the dress, will incorporate this little heart. And to cut out the heart, I lined up this pattern piece that is bigger, like on the bigger heart that is on my vintage Valentine's Day embroidery file, which is available on my Etsy site. There's a link down below. And I'm marking where the top of those curves hits the bigger heart, okay? So I'm just kind of like lining it up and seeing where it all hits, and then I'm marking where it hits on my printout. Then I take my hem fabric and pin it to the pattern piece as well as the bigger heart, and I use the friction heat activated pin to trace the top of the heart, and I cut that out and I'm setting it aside for now. So to begin sewing the gown together, first I put a placket in the back of the gown. You could do a placket that uses the continuous placket method, or the method that doesn't actually introduce any new pieces of fabric but instead just folds the existing fabric onto itself, which is the route pocket. Then I sewed the front of the gown together with the back of the gown at the shoulder seams using French seams, and I have a video that goes over French seams that is linked down below too. Sorry, I don't mean to keep referring to other videos, but it makes putting together videos so much easier for me when I don't have to repeat like the basic steps that are, you know, repetitive. Next, I cut out a 1.5 inch wide bias band strip to fold in half. So I'm folding in half so both the raw edges are folded together, and then I give that an ironing. And I went with 1.5 inches instead of my usual 2 inches wide, since I'm using this to go around the end of the sleeves as well as the neckline, and I just want it to be a very slim and delicate look, just like a little touch of pink, you know? Then I put 2 rows of gathered stitches at the bottom of the sleeve, and I gathered that up to be about 8 inches. Then I sew that bias band at the bottom of the sleeve, and after trimming up the seam allowance to about 3/16 of an inch, then I iron the band over, and I will finish sewing this by hand down in place using those machine stitches to secure everything. And I do have another video that goes over how I do that is linked down below. Next, I moved on to the hem of the gown, and Daisy was tired of being in the carrier, so she is joining me on my lap. So I joined the curved hem piece to the gown with the right side of the hem piece touching the wrong side of the gown. That hem piece will come around and turn the corner, turn that raw edge of the gown up. I hope that kind of makes sense so you can see what I'm doing here, so hopefully that clears things up. And next, I understitch the hem in place so the gown's fabric doesn't peek below the fabric of the hem. And now we can move on to the top of the hem. So this curved hem with the little holes is commonly referred to as a Madeira hem. And I do have another video that goes over a different method of how to achieve this look, but I'm going to take a different course this time. So here's the back of the gown, and I incorporated a little heart as a cute detail from behind. And to make that heart a little bit bolder, I cut out another heart, and I'm going to put the second heart behind the hem fabric. Sorry, I've got little ones running around like always. And this is another method for doing the Madeira applique by machine. I take this sew line glue pen. It's a magical tool that will hold your fabric or lace or trims or whatever in place. You kind of have to work a little bit quickly with it, And it's no big deal because if you aren't working quickly enough, you just put another swipe of glue and you just move on. But at any rate, you're going to put the swipe of glue over your fabric and then you're going to press it together. I just sort of press it with my hands first, and you can reposition it if you need to. And then once I have everything in the position that I like, then I give it a good ironing. It literally leaves no residue. I'm not joking. No residue, and these blue marks that you're seeing will go away with time. I've never had them stay. So I get everything in position with the glue, and you can baste these curves in place first if you wish. I actually basted the curves for the front of the gown in place since I caught myself underneath a sleeping baby without any other hand sew, and I figured what the heck. So I basted her in place, but I'm still using the glue for the top of the curves, as you can see, those little top areas. It's just a great method of keeping the fabric down. So I get that on ironing, and before taking it to my machine, I cut away any frays from my fabric. Then I set my machine to hem stitch, and I grab a size 90 needle. I like a size 90 for newborn size garments. You could use a wing needle of 100 or 120 if you prefer. So finally, I'm using Stitch in the Ditch for my stabilizer, and I go to town with those lovely little dots. Oh, and I'm using Madeira 80 weight thread. So then I remove the Stitch in the Ditch, and I find it's best to tear away one side opposite from how it's sitting, and then tear away the other side again opposite from how it's laying. That gets almost all of the stabilizer gone, and there will be a handful of these little pieces left over, and I pick these out with either my fingers or some tweezers. It's no big deal. And from there, I simply join the side seams using French seams, and finally I attach a 1.5 inch bias band to the neckline in the same manner as those sleeves, but I do leave a little bit of overhang in the back so I can tuck those raw edges and conceal them when I do my hand stitching. So there you have it, a little Valentine's Day number for a newborn, although this pattern goes up to I think it's 15 pounds or something, so you could put it as a little diaper shirt or something for a 6-month-old or so. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.